Guys are going to be timid and not knowing what's going on. You play hard, you play together. I mean, that's all we ask.
This is what we all have to do.
Be locked in, focus, just be disciplined, all right?
Now I feel like Kyrie, I'ma have to take the shot. If they tryna call me dog, I gotta hit the block. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. I got my black hoodie with a rollie on, eating pasta like Corleone. I don't got time for no fake boy. If you got the money, gon' show me some. I got 2 whips and I'm self-paid. Never got help, bro, I'm self-made. Started from the bottom, but we made it to the top. And I told them time is money, that's why I don't ever stop. Hey, what up, Sig? Whole month in the studio, said I'm locked in. My stock going way up, I got options. Yeah, they fine, but stop playing, you not him. Wait, the numbers going up.
You got 8 seconds to prove you're worth the price of admission. And you got Baylor Scott and White Health along for the ride. So square up. You got this.
MCC has definitely benefited me most on not only what I want to do, but who I aspire to be. Expect every professor to help you become who you want to be and more. Create your own success at MCC.
RJ's Bargain Center is your home team for appliances at unbeatable prices. From refrigerators to washers, dryers to stoves, you'll find brand new appliances with huge discounts. And just like your favorite local teams, RJ's is proud to support our community and local sports. Score your savings today at RJ's Bargain Center, 711 Lynn Street, Waco. Call 254-224-6178. RJ's Bargain Center, where big savings are always a home run.
Hello and welcome back into Centex Primetime. I am your host, Jalen Gillis, getting ready to bring you through the primetime topics in sports, not just here locally, but from all around the nation. Hey, we want to thank everybody for tuning in with us here. Happy holidays to everybody out there. We're just a few days away from Christmas. I'm sure if you guys are like me, you're getting your last second Christmas shopping in for all of your loved ones. We want to thank you guys for tuning in with us here today, and happy holidays to everybody viewing in with us. Well, folks, we're only going to have one show this week up here in the studio, as everyone will be going into their Christmas breaks after that. So we've got a full show here planned for you today. We're going to talk some college football, as round one of the college football playoffs have just wrapped up this past weekend. We'll talk about some of these guys that are jumping into the transfer portal. Where do we see some of these guys going? We'll do some quick takes, talk about the different things around the world of sports, and we will close it out today with some NFL, talk about what's going on. Only 2 weeks left in the regular season. We'll get some extra football games this week. We got some Christmas Day games that'll be up on Netflix. So lots to talk about here today on Centex Primetime. If you haven't already, like and share this stream. If you're watching with us on YouTube, Centex Sports Network / Centex Sports TV over on YouTube. Also, hit that subscribe button and click the bell as well so you can get notified every time that we go live here on Centex Primetime. Well, folks, we're going to get straight into it. We've got full show here today, and we've got a full audience here up on the desk with us here today. To my left, we've got the WISD Hall of Famer, former Texas Tech Red Raider, who you'll see sporting his Red Raider gear as they're getting ready to start their campaign into the playoffs. Mr. Wayne Walker in the building with us. To his left, we've got the most famous man in Waco, Mr. Rocky Miller, in the building with us as well. Y'all, fellas, what's going on?
Hey, what's going
Hey,
on?
man, hey, this is we in the middle of a sports smorgasbord.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
It's buffet, definitely.
Yeah. You got your NBA basketball. You playing college games that matter, NFL games that matter. Man, it's just a great
Women's college basketball,
Yeah.
men's college basketball. You got it all right.
You got
now,
it all, man.
I've been watching more women's college basketball, honestly, than probably some of the men. The men ones don't really get super competitive till you get to conference and probably going into the tournament time. The women's got a couple good players I'm watching right now. Hannah Hidalgo out of Notre Dame, been balling.
She's been balling.
Audie Cooks at Iowa State is unstoppable. Shout out to the Baylor Bears, man. They've been doing their thing as well. But like I said, folks, we got a lot we got to talk about here today, so we're going to jump straight into it, and we got to start at the college football playoffs. We got round one finally after waiting for a couple of weeks. Round one of the playoffs. Had a couple of good games, had some not so good games, but that's pretty much what we all expected out of this first round once we all seen the matchups. Let's start with the good ones. We'll start with the game on Friday. The Alabama Crimson Tide come back from down 17-0 to win the game 34-24 in their first game in the college football playoff in the 12-team bracket. OU host their first ever college football playoff game. The crowd was rocking. It was packed out there in Norman on a Friday night. The fans didn't disappoint, but the team ended up disappointing as they, like I said, blew a 17-0 lead. Alabama comes back, ties it up at halftime. From there on, Alabama was able to take off, finish this game. Ty Simpson had another good game, 232 yards, 2 touchdowns to go along with it. They were able to kind of run the ball by committee. That was my main issue or main concern about this Alabama team coming into this game was how are they going to be able to run the ball. They were able to do it. They got some good plays on special teams. They were able to turn over John Mateer a few times in this game. And honestly, to me, it looked like Oklahoma kind of crumbled under the pressure more, and Alabama was kind of just used to that pressure. They were used to, they played some of these big games already. They were able to make the big plays as it came down closer and closer in that fourth quarter. Wayne, I'll start with you. What do you think about Bama coming back from down 17-0 winning this game?
You know, Jalen, Rocky, who says football is not a game of emotion?
Yeah.
Because a drop punt when it was 17-0 led to a score. Then you come back and you turn the ball over right after that and you throw a pick six. It's a game of emotion. Yeah. If they don't do that, Alabama hadn't done nothing all game. I mean, they barely could move the ball at that point. But football is a game of emotion. It gave them life. The drop punt and the interception, it gave them life.
Yep.
And they held on and got some momentum going. And guess what? Alabama came out on top. You at home in front of your home crowd. I mean, it's loud, everything going great for you, and then you make those 2 mistakes, and then you give a team a chance. You let your foot up off the neck, and then that's what happens, man.
Well, I completely agree. You know, this game reminded me of the Celebration Bowl that Prairie View was in when they went up 21 and then let South Carolina State back in the game. Yeah. And one thing, now here's the reality. You know, if you get Bama down 17, you gotta get that thing home and play pretty much mistake free, because if you let them back in the game and with momentum, like you're saying, they got 4 and 5 stars on Alabama roster. Yeah. You understand what I'm saying? They don't have huckleberries. They don't have guys poop butts and all that kind of stuff out there. They guys that can really play. And so if you give those guys playing, you want to keep their dopper down, because if they raise their emotion, they raise their intensity level, and those 5 stars got to play, and guess what? It got to be a situation where you had some guys just make a couple plays after the momentum shift, and that was enough to bring the game home. Of course, Oklahoma had a horrible kicking exhibition. Yeah. They missed 3 kicks, didn't they?
Yeah.
And so I just think it was a situation where, to Jalen's point, I think Alabama, those kids who come to this program are accustomed to playing in those moments.
And you know, but this is the thing. Oklahoma was like 1 score away, even if it was a field goal to make it 20-0 or to make it 24-0, from making Alabama one-dimensional where they have to go out and they just have to pass. And Oklahoma, what they do best, they rush the passer and they play pass defense. But when you make a team and when they can come back and they can be balanced and they can run the ball and they can pass the ball and they can use balances as far as the offense attack, and you can't tee off on them and know what they're really doing, then it just kind of puts you in a pickle a little bit. And I think that's what happened, man, because they was winning off of emotion at first, okay? Like, because I said it's a game of emotion. So Oklahoma was winning off of emotion because they had the crowd in front of them. They started out fast. and then those things happen, and that's
of all the teams that got voted in, we didn't have a show before the playoffs, so I didn't get a chance to discuss this with you guys. But all the teams that got in, the team that I thought was most suspect coming in, because I watched them lose to Texas. Yeah. When Arch wasn't playing well. Right. And they blame that game on Mateer. But my point was with Oklahoma is, let's be honest. The Oklahoma team that we saw is not a typical Oklahoma team. Meaning they can't run the football consistently. Right? They don't have any dynamic playmakers on the outside.
Nope.
Right?
Right.
And they're dependent on a quarterback to kind of bring it home. And let's be honest, they don't even have what you would consider a dominating offensive line. To me, offensively, they have challenges.
They were challenged.
I believe, this is just my heart of hearts, I believe that you could swap out Oklahoma and Texas in the playoffs, and I thought you could be justified in doing so.
I thought Notre Dame. I think if you want to go that route, I think you have to go Notre Dame.
They ain't beat nobody, Walker.
But my thing is, I don't like to see two Southeast Conference teams in the first round. I mean, what are we doing?
Oh, yeah.
We got two.
Third time playing in 13 months, I think it was.
I mean, you got two Southeast Conference teams in the same
This was
round.
TV. To me, this is the TV game.
Yeah.
This is the game.
OU brand versus Alabama brand.
Yeah, that's a TV game, and that's why you got that matchup.
What was James Madison in Oregon? Is that a TV game too? That was a prime time
Well,
game.
That was terrible.
So here's my point in that. You got to have somebody play a home game. You can't just, if Alabama's the last team in, certainly they can't play a home game. You understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And then A&M has probably the best resume of the teams that play the first week.
For sure.
They can't go on the road to Oregon or one of the or Miami. Miami's the last team, and so I think you got a situation where I really would have liked to have seen Miami go play Oklahoma, and then of course Alabama line up against Texas A&M. I thought that would have been a really
but you still got the same.
No. I see. I know you still got the, but again, they went
out of the teams that's playing home, they got to go somewhere.
But that's what happens.
Send them to Oregon.
That's Walker. That's what happens when 5 other teams in the playoff come from the same conference. They got to meet up.
Somebody's gonna play.
Yeah, you got to realize.
Yeah.
Well,
there's only. Let's quit playing this game. There is no power 4. There's a power 2.
Yeah.
And of these 12 games, of these 12 teams that get in, you get one from other 4 conferences.
Yeah, you got
and
8.
then
I think it's 8 from the power 2, right?
Yeah.
8 teams out of the 12 came.
Yeah. And I think that was a similar situation last year.
Yep.
And then not even Texas or Notre Dame, but put BYU in.
Those are my 2 teams that I had of getting in over, and we're going to talk about the Tulane and the JMU thing in a minute, but over those 2 guys, BYU easily. Your only 2 losses. Only loss you have is to one team that's the top 4 team in the nation. Notre Dame, if you're going to put Bama in, Notre Dame has just as good a case, in my opinion, as Bama. Bama's a 3-loss team that got whooped in their conference championship game. I wouldn't have been mad if Bama didn't make it at all. But now that they won, they look justified in making that decision, making Bama go. And we'll talk about them going into the next round in just a second. But OU, pretty much, I agree with you guys. OU blew this one, in my opinion. You're at home. You're up 17-0. You got to find a way to close that game out. To Rocky's point, this offense has just been off balance all year long. Their defense has been so good, it's covered up for a lot of mistakes. Their offense has been off balance since the Mateer injury. He's never looked anywhere close to what he was projected to look like coming into this year. And I think that hurt a lot of his draft stock if he has any left. I think he's got another year of eligibility, though, so he'll be back.
I hope so.
Because if he doesn't, his draft stock is plummeted completely after the way this season's went. But Bama moves on to the next round. Only one other interesting first-round game that ended up being a complete and total defensive battle. That was the Miami Hurricanes going against the Texas A&M Aggies. Rocky just alluded to earlier. A&M's got probably the best resume out of anybody that's played in this first round of the playoffs, with their only loss being to Texas at the very end of the year. They play against a Miami team that's got one of the most talented teams in the roster. This was a game that just came down to will and want to a little bit more. A 10-3 victory for the Miami Hurricanes. Only one touchdown scored in the game, and that was in the last 6 minutes of the game when Malachi Toney finally broke it to the end zone. Probably should have scored a couple of times in this game. A&M's offense could really never get it together. Their defense played a great game. Marcel Reed, which is kind of concerning because you've seen this a couple of times in his biggest games, he can't stop turning the ball over. He did it in this game. He did it against Texas. He did it against, I'm trying to remember the team, was it South Carolina, that they were down 24 in a game. He couldn't stop turning the ball over in the first half in that game. And we've seen it over and over a couple of times in these big games for Marcel Reed, unable to get it done. He still had to be their leading rusher. They weren't able to run the ball in this game. Mark Fletcher on the other side for Miami was clearly their MVP of this game. 17 carries for 172 yards. Played phenomenal in this game. But this game just really came down to moments. The punt return from Malachi Toney, the last-minute rush that he got in there, 10-yard rush that he had to be able to score in that last seconds of the game. Those two guys were really the entire offense. Carson Beck didn't turn the ball over. He didn't play well, but he didn't turn the ball over. So for those standards, played pretty good. Rock, I'll start with you this time. What do you think about the low-scoring game with Miami and Texas A&M with A&M at home?
I mean, I really was disappointed because I thought if you look at the game and the number of snaps that A&M had on the Miami side of the field, and then what they would try to do once they got past the 50, it seemed like they weren't interested in running the football at all. No. They just wanted to play hero ball with Marcel Reed. I'll say this, Walker. What I was trying to do is look up the stats for the game, and basically what I'm simply saying is, in the 10-3 game, and you have Marcel Reed dropping back 39 times to pass the ball. I don't think that was a recipe for success for Texas A&M. When you look at Carson Beck, who's supposed to be the more accomplished passer, he only dropped back 20 times. Yeah. I believe if you had committed to a running game using one of the other Moss or E.J. Smith or one of the other guys, you would have had a much more probability of winning, because again, Marcel Reed throwing about 39 times in a 10-3 game. Yeah. That's outrageous. I think Klein got too slick for himself. Yep. And I don't think he would do this at Kansas State. I don't think he could drop back and throw the ball 39 times. I think Texas A&M lost their identity offensively, started playing hero ball, where you had one guy drop back for 39 times, ran the ball 15 times. Again, nobody else really touched the ball. They were depending on Marcel Reed. And again, yeah, he had a bad throw at the end, but when you have that much of a usage rate in a big game like this, a kid is going to make mistakes, man. I just think they put too much on his shoulders to deliver the victory, and I think they had other options. I think they could have used the running backs. I think they could have ran the football because at the end of the day, they weren't really effective running the ball. But I'll say this. You didn't have to run the ball because you didn't have to run it effectively because the game was always in play. It was 0-0 to the middle of the third, wasn't it?
Yep. Yeah.
So I just think it was a bad plan by Colin Klein, and I think under another circumstance, they had to do it over. They'd run the ball a little more.
I totally agree. You can't drop him back 39 times and try to be successful, especially when they got two pass rushers. You know, you got to neutralize those guys, and you have to run the ball, and you have to make them defend the run. Also, the kicking was atrocious on both ends.
On both sides.
On both ends.
Terrible kicking game.
You're in Texas. You got a win going on, but it's not that much of a win where this is what you do for. This is your skill.
Yeah.
This is your skill to kick the ball through the uprights. And on both sides of the ball, they were inefficient. Also, Texas A&M went for it on 4th down a couple of times. Penalties cost them a lot too. They
did.
I mean, but Elko in the big game, Texas, where he lost. This game, Miami, it was the same thing. They were inefficient on offense. When you got a guy that, man, it would be run option, pass run option, because you can use this guy because he has legs. You have the better tight end. You have the better running back. And one thing about what Rocky said, and to allude to that, is that Miami stuck with the run. They couldn't get anything at first.
Stuck with it.
They had one guy that could run the ball. They had one guy that could run the ball.
Like
but they stuck with it. They stuck with it, and then in the fourth quarter, if you stick with it, and it finally starts to, you finally start to kind of get your niche a little bit, and you find out what works for you, and you keep doing it, you're going to be successful.
So here's one of the things that I've learned. The passing game can be fool's gold sometimes, and this is what I mean by that. And you're a wide receiver. Well, I think if you can't pass when you want to pass, and when you have to make a play, then you shouldn't pass. You shouldn't depend on the passing game to move the football. Yeah, you're going to be able to do things on first down, passing the ball on first down that you aren't going to be able to do on 3rd and 8, 3rd and 9. You know what I mean? And those are the situations where Marcel Reed struggles. He doesn't struggle on 1st and 10.
But your leading rusher had 27 yards.
Yeah.
In the whole game.
And it was the quarterback.
So that's not a recipe for winning. I think the run sets up the pass.
Yes.
And the pass sets up the run. I think they work in accordance to one another if you can be balanced. Because it's all about balance. You got to have balance when you're doing something.
But they kept trying to go downfield to their guys, Craven, Concepcion.
Yeah.
And my point is...
But everybody knew that was going to happen. So
with Miami, you didn't have the advantage that you usually have in the secondary.
Yeah.
They had guys that could cover.
Yeah.
So my to your point, Walker, if you're going to use the passing game, I think you're better off using tight ends, running back to kind of move the football.
That RPO type of system, because you said against the two best players on Miami are Ruben Bain and Akeem Messidor. They're two pass rushers. Those are two best players on the team.
And you're putting them in the game every time you drop
every
back.
single time you drop back. That's why Ruben Bain had 3 sacks and Akeem Messidor had 2 sacks.
Exactly.
And that's
you neutralize them by running at them. That's what you do.
Yeah.
And Michael Parsons, you don't drop back 39 times with Michael Parsons there, and then you got another one, and then you got DeMarcus Lawrence on the other side of it. Somebody's gonna get some sacks. You understand what I'm saying?
Give them that many opportunities.
I mean, you're gonna get sacks. And Miami dominated this game in the second half. They should have had a punt return that just was a shoestring tackle.
Yeah.
That they came up with that stopped it. And then they missed three. They missed
field goals.
4 field goals.
After that,
They missed 4 field goals.
It's crazy.
And Texas A&M missed 2. So the kicking was atrocious. Special teams was atrocious.
Terrible.
And I think, like you said, Texas A&M lost by game plan because they didn't game plan.
They came out throwing the ball. They came out.
There wasn't a moment in the game where they weren't throwing the ball.
Yeah, like
they were throwing the ball every quarter. Every drive, they're throwing it most of the game.
But they went for it on 4th down. They didn't get it once or twice. They went for it on 4th down. Then they had to end up punting. I think they had a fake punt that didn't work. I mean, you had a lot of things that was going against you, and you was at home, and you surely had the home field advantage. I mean, when you go to Texas A&M and you play in front of that crowd, that's one of the worst places I played.
And you said something very important. They came out passing the ball in conditions that weren't conducive to passing.
The wind. They were saying the wind was taking the ball everywhere. Why would you want to go and pay? I think I was over your house? I was over there drinking tea and lemonade. I think.
No, that was the second. They played early.
Okay, yeah.
They played early.
Okay.
No. yeah, special kind of lemonade. But but no, man. I just think this is I like Elko. I think he's a really good coach. But again, I think sometimes these offensive coordinators try to, in big moments, steer away from a team's true identity. And I think A&M is a run-first team, should be. I know they have a dynamic quarterback, but in these big games, you can't play these big games 1-on-11. You got to have everybody involved.
Yeah, especially against a team like
Miami. And I'm going to tell you what was big for Miami. Scott coming back and playing.
Yeah, huge.
He had an impact on the game, on the defensive side of the ball.
Pass breakup, sacks.
Yeah.
He was everywhere.
He was everywhere.
Yeah.
So
and then the young freshmen, both of their freshmen, Malachi Toney stepping up on. He was their offense pretty much, him and Mark Fletcher. And then the freshmen on the other side, that both Miami guys, both the two of the highest rated players in Florida. Fitzgerald, the safety, they got 2 picks, including the game.
Did they go to Miami Northwest? They didn't go.
No, I don't think either one of them went to Northwestern, but both played in Miami.
They were on the same high school team.
No, I don't think they were on the same team. Malachi Toney's team went to state. I don't think Fitzgerald's team went to state.
Fletcher's.
Fitzgerald's team. I don't think he went to state, but Tony's did. Went to state 2 years in a row.
And you trying to force feed Concepcion, and you didn't have a game plan to get him open. I mean, what was their leading receiver?
Craver with 92 yards, I think
92 yards?
Yeah.
Man.
I mean, again, when you pass it 39 times,
that's what I was
you're going to complete. But here's my point. You couldn't get any continuity in the passing game. He passed, it was 39 for 25. So, and they were big game hunting when they were passing. They weren't digging and dunking.
No, but they were flanker screening too. They passes was down the field in the flanker screen.
That's it. That was the whole offense.
That was the whole offense.
No running, no run schemes. They didn't even try to stick with the run. Like you said on the other side, when they stick with it, eventually it's going to break open. Mark Fletcher running 10 yards a pop.
Yeah, because he got strong in the second half. Quarter.
Yeah.
He had Michael Irvin over there crawling on the ground over there, man. I'm telling you.
Hey, man. Shout out Mike Irvin, man. That dude is hilarious. This dude whooped the trash can with a belt for 45 seconds on camera.
Yeah.
I said Michael Irvin is crazy, man. But with Miami Hurricanes moving on to the next round after they take out a team that was favored to win, the Texas A&M Aggies. I'm sorry to my Aggie fans out there. I'm not an Aggie fan if y'all know that watch the show at all. It seems like this continues to happen in all the big games they play over the last 10 years. They'll get in a big game in some kind of way. They end up flankering out of the game. But lose this one after a really good season. Miami moving on to the next round. I seen on social media videos circulating of people talking about Marcel Reed because they caught him at a party after the game was over. I'm like, man, have y'all not been to college? Everybody's going out after you lose a game. What are you talking about? Win or lose. Everybody's going out after the game.
Win or lose.
And these dudes got millions of dollars they playing with now. It ain't the same as before. You just go out just to go out. Man, these dudes is millionaires. Of course they're going to go out after they lose. What are you talking? He's 20 years old. What do you think
if
he was
he
going
got
to
in that transfer portal, I bet they'll change their mind.
What? Yeah. They'll be sick then.
This is one of those situations where I think sometimes when you're successful and at those schools, you're our guy.
Yeah.
When you're not successful at those schools, you're that guy.
Yeah.
And that's one of the and I think, I don't want to regress, but I'd have to mention it that you're only welcome in those situations at quarterback and at head coach as a black man when you're successful. When you're not succccessful, you don't get the title. You don't get to be gritty and have heart.
Well,
all the words they use.
Johnny Manziel said some things, and I don't agree with nothing he say, and I still don't because he was kind of criticizing the quarterback and his play. Okay, you won a Heisman, you beat Alabama twice. That's your only.
That's it.
That's your resume to me because you didn't. When you got to the other level, you didn't do anything.
Yeah.
So that's your only part of your resume. But I think a lot of people listen to him and whatever he got to say. But I don't I don't agree with nothing he says about Marcel Reese. I kind of read some
Nah.
things and
Well, like I say, I think Colin Klein didn't run a system or a game plan that features Marcel Reed's best qualities.
if he do the stuff that he did when he was at quarterback, when he was playing, then they probably would have had a chance to win.
for real,
Because they was
for
run
real.
heavy.
They was.
And like I say, but you're gonna have to involve a running back. Like that's I don't know if he didn't trust.
Moss just came back after missing 4 or 5 games. Ruben
EJ.
Owens has been, EJ Smith, but they got them all 4 and 5 star guys.
But
Ruben
they-
Owens, EJ
But they got
Smith.
a capable tight end too. So
Yes, they do.
I'm
Yes, they do.
run past RPO with my tight end and my running back and my quarterback. If you want to run him that way.
Well, Mike Elko will be looking for a new offensive coordinator. I believe Colin Klein has already accepted the job at Kansas State, so he'll be up there, probably up there right now. As a matter of fact, they'll be trying to retool this team. Marcel Reed coming back, only a sophomore, so he's got time to try to correct some of these mistakes that he's made.
Mm-hmm.
But overall, I mean, a phenomenal season from him and a phenomenal season from A&M. Just couldn't win in the big games. Miami will be moving on to the next round. Let's talk about these other 2 terrible games that happened on this weekend.
Let's not
First,
talk long.
the Tulane and Ole Miss game, and also the JMU Oregon game. I don't have to go down the line and break down the games like we just did with the first 2. My question is, are these 2 games? Is this the reason why a group of 5 teams should not get into the playoffs?
No, Tennessee got beat last year too.
They did.
They got beat
Oregon.
to sleep. Oregon got beat to sleep last year. I want to say, did Indiana get beat to sleep too?
They lost by 2 touchdowns. So
So I'm not saying they shouldn't get in because of margin of victory. I think margin of victory is, styles make fights, matchup, situation, whatever. I'm saying that, you could have they're just teams that would make for better matchup.
Yes.
Now here's the deal. If you are a group of 5 team, I just want you to have a resume that dictates
Exactly.
you being validated in being one of the top 12 teams in the nation. Like, we could easily say, and to your point, we could bring Texas or Notre Dame in this tournament and certainly get better games than we got with those 2 teams.
yeah.
But let's be honest, objectively, neither one of those teams had a resume that would dictate that they would have any success playing the teams that they were playing. I think Ole Miss had already curb stomped.
Yeah, they beat them by 30.
35.
By Tulane.
Yeah.
Tulane.
And then
JMU, they played a really mediocre ACC team, Louisville.
And lost by 20.
Yeah. So neither one of them had a resume. Matter of fact, I didn't know this till after doing some research. JMU didn't have they played one top 50 team, right, which was Louisville, but they didn't have one top 50 victory.
Yeah.
In their best victory was against school I didn't even know they played football, Old Dominion.
Yeah. Yeah. Yep.
You know what I mean? They haven't been a Division I school, and they just became D1.
They just became D1.
So they didn't have these two teams didn't have the resume. Again, I think last year you could point to Boise State was a much better opponent. I think they were justified in their inclusion.
Yeah.
And I think that's one of the things we're going to have to evaluate to say, hey, if we're going to take some group of 5 teams, let's make sure that
They're
are
worthy.
They're worthy
of it.
Yeah, because
just because you want to give a team an opportunity, that don't mean if the college football playoffs. Let's get the 12 best teams in there, regardless of where they come from or whatever. Let's do it that way. I kind of want to do it like they do the basketball, like they do the top 64 in basketball. It ain't if you win your conference here, if you win your conference there, you get in and this, that, and other. I want just the 12 best teams.
Now, I somewhat agree with you. I think here's what I think. If you have a group of 5, a group of 5 team in it, right? One, make sure they're worthy. But here's the situation. Let's be perfectly honest. Group of 5 teams are playing at a different level than the group of 4 teams, and definitely the group of 2 teams.
Yeah.
They playing at a different level. From what I understand, that JMU quarterback, he probably not going to be at JMU next year.
Yeah, he'll transfer.
He's going to. So what I mean is, those teams are not playing at the same level as your Big 12, ACC, whatever. And let's not play the game like they are.
Yeah.
Like what they try to do is include them like, oh yeah, they're Division I schools, but they are at a different level. They don't have the resources. The coaching. Matter of fact, didn't those two coaches have already take jobs at other institutions?
I think so, yeah.
I know one of them, the Tulane coach,
He's going to Florida.
And
I think the JMU coach might accept the job too.
Yeah.
But if you're going to do it like that, let's just say from the Big 12, we'll take 2 teams. From the Southeast Conference, we'll take 4 teams. From the Big 10, we'll take 4 teams. And then,
but all those
the
teams,
ACC will take 2 teams, and then you expand it to 16, and then you get 4 more.
Well, here's the deal, though.
spots.
All those schools, all those 119 schools that play Division I football, they all pay the same membership fee. See, this is where you get it. They all pay the same membership fee, so they all should be eligible in their mind. I'm just saying in their mind to be in the big dance, so to speak. The problem is they don't all have the same commitment. They don't all have the same opportunity, and they don't all recruit, pay at the same level.
No.
But it should be a criteria for getting in.
I agree.
And the criteria should you have to play at least at least a top 50 schedule.
Yes.
At least you have to play somebody.
Yes.
I mean, it should all go on resume. Yeah. And if you don't have a resume to get in, I don't care if you 12-0, you still shouldn't be able to get in.
And that was my only problem with I don't think it should be banned for group of 5 teams to get in like Paul Feinbaum says. But I think there needs to be a much tougher criteria, as Rocky alluded to. Boise State deserved to get in. Yeah. They played a competitive game against Oregon. They played in a decent conference. Nobody from the Sun Belt should ever get into the college football playoff. I'm sorry. If the Sun Belt is not the same as the ACC, the Big 12, it is completely and totally different, and it shows that it's completely and totally different. If your best wins are Weber State and Liberty, you should never get into the playoff. If you're going to stick one in, I get it. You want to stick one guy, pick between Tulane and James Madison, and it'll be Tulane. But no way should Tulane and James Madison both. It's disrespectful.
Or start it a week early and let James Madison and Tulane play. A play-in game. Like they do in NCAA basketball.
So let's be honest. Last year they changed the criteria, right? Mm-hmm. So they changed the criteria so that they could include at least the top 4 conference champions. Well, they made a little caveat. Rather than saying we're going to take those top 4 champions as an automatic.
Well, the ACC messed it up.
Well, this is what they did. They say we're going to take the top 4 ranked champions.
Yeah, they did. Top 4 ranked champions.
Right? The top 5 ranked champions, I'm sorry.
That's what they said, yeah.
So what ended up happening is normally the top 5 ranked champions, one of those champions is going to be the ACC, Big 12, you know what I mean? So it's really only one spot open for kind of like a at-large champion. Well, a champion. Well, what happened? You got
Duke goes and blows out what's his name in the ACC.
The ACC totally just.
So now you got, rather than only having one spot for those group of 5 schools, you got 2 spots now.
Miami should have been in the ACC championship.
Instead of saying, hey, what we're going to do is, like, for the ACC, our top-ranked team, we're going to put them in the championship game, regardless of record. But our top-ranked...
That's end up what happened anyway.
Yeah, because Miami got in.
There's no reason Duke should have made it.
But if Miami don't get in, then...
But they got in at large. It wasn't
they got in at large. But they should have got in through the championship game. Yeah. But for some strange reason, I don't know what numbers they crunched in the computer, for whatever reason, that Duke made it over Miami in the ACC championship game, which was insane. And Duke was 6th in the ACC, and somehow they made the championship. That didn't make any sense to me. Miami should have got that at-large bid, meaning Tulane and JMU don't make it, and you got to put in the Texas or somebody.
But I think we all agree we want to keep the group of 5 teams as part of the playoff, but we want them to have met some criteria before they're selected. And if they're unable to make that criteria, then they have to go to the Pop-Tart Bowl or wherever.
Because neither one of them met. Tulane's didn't do. I mean, they lost by 30 against Ole Miss, and then you lost by 20 against UTSA. Like, that should automatically take you out. I don't care who you beat in the championship. You lost by 20 to UTSA.
And if you're gonna do that, give them BYU an opportunity to play.
BYU
James
should
Madison,
definitely be in it.
Then give Texas a chance to play Tulane.
And they're gonna beat them by 50.
Yeah, you do it like that. You have play-in games to get there. Okay, and then you have those other guys. That's why you got to expand it.
This is just thinking out loud.
Mm-hmm.
I think ultimately what probably should happen, if you expand the playoff, you should probably eliminate the championship games, because ultimately the championship games don't decide anything.
Because
they don't decide anything.
That's what was going to hurt Alabama, because they lost the championship game.
It hurt BYU.
It hurt BYU.
But I don't think they'll do it.
They won't.
Because
what
if teams start declining and say, well, I don't want to play the championship game?
Teams was happy they didn't. A&M was happy they didn't play in the championship game. Can't get moved. Miami didn't play in the championship game. Can't get moved.
Yeah.
You automatically in.
If
Oregon didn't play in the championship game.
I decline. I don't even want to play. Send somebody else.
All they can do is hurt me.
Send Arizona
You
State.
only can do that if you're in the SEC or the Big Ten.
Yeah, exactly. Those are the teams that get to. Because Oregon got to be top 5 by not playing the championship game. They stayed top 5. Ohio State played in the championship game, lost, only moved one spot. They moved to number 2 from number 1.
Who did Ohio State beat last year? They beat somebody to sleep in the first round last year.
Oregon.
No, in the first
Tennessee.
round.
They beat Tennessee. They destroyed Tennessee. Then they destroyed Oregon.
I don't think people should criticize the Group of 5 schools based on the outcome of the game, because we all know that.
But that's how Alabama got in, right?
No. What I'm saying is, like, people are criticizing. Look what happened. They got beat. They got blew out. No, they're gonna be in this deal. They're gonna be teams that come from Power 5, P2 schools that get in, and they're gonna get blown out. That's football. But the criteria has to be right.
Yeah.
The criteria has to be right, and that's all I want is for the criteria to be right if you're gonna select a Group of 5 school.
Do you think that there can be a Cinderella in football like it is in basketball?
Because I don't. No.
I don't. I don't see a Cinderella team ever winning.
No, you got to win
ever.
too many. You got to win. So here's the deal in football.
Football is different than basketball.
Here's the deal in football. You got to have the depth and resilience to beat 3 top-level opponents. The only teams that can do that, let's be honest, the only teams, in my opinion, that had a roster to do that 3 weeks in a row are the Alabamas, the Georgias. And I doubt, because, now y'all may disagree, but I doubt that Indiana has the roster to be able to do that, because they're not littered with 4 and 5 stars, and at the end of the day, you're going to need bodies if you're going to play 3 rounds of football against the Alabamas, the Georgias, the Ohio State. You're going to have bodies.
Well,
and do they have the bodies?
I disagree with you, because this is what I think. Indiana is a system.
Indiana's legit.
They're a system-driven team.
Okay.
So they thrive on their system, and that's their offensive system. So then they went in the transfer portal. Their defense, all they have to do is just be decent. They don't have to be great. They just have to be decent. But their offense is what drives them. They're an offensive, system-driven team. When you talk about a system, who do you think about? You think about, like, the run-and-shoot offenses back. It was driven by the system. So they're driven by their system, not by what their depth is. It's what you're gonna need.
If you're gonna go through quarterfinals, then the semifinal, then the championship game, you're gonna need bodies, Walker. There's no way around it.
Okay.
There's no way around it.
We'll see.
Yeah,
we'll see.
You're gonna take somebody in those 3 games. You're gonna take a key injury in those games. And what does your second line guy look like? What does your third line guy look like? We know what they look like at Oklahoma. We know what they look like at Ohio State. We know what they look like at Alabama. I'm just wondering, because, again, I don't know, but I'm just wondering, is that does Indiana have that depth of those traditional football powers?
So what you saying is, at Alabama, you're going to have 4-star, 5-star guys. You're going to have 4 and 5-star guys. But at Indiana, you're going to have 3 and 2-star guys, right? So you don't think that a guy can raise his level of play to a 3 or 4? All that 4 and 5-star stuff don't matter sometimes. Sometimes it does, don't get me wrong. But sometimes it doesn't matter, man. Sometimes it doesn't matter because you got some 2-stars and some 3-stars that's just as capable of 5-star. 5-stars is just all about statistics a lot of times. Then it's about size, it's about speed, it's about all of those things. But you still got to have the heart, man. You got to have the heart to go out there and do it. And I'm just thinking like a system-driven team is, I don't care who you plug, it's a plug-and-play type of league. It's a plug-and-play type of thing. But you may be right, but we'll see.
I think what Rocky's saying applies to the group of 5. I wouldn't say that same thing about Indiana because Indiana's got guys that are going to be drafted in the first, second round of the NFL draft. So they got actual dogs on their team. They might not be household names like the Alabama, but JMU don't got them guys. No. Tulane don't got them guys. Boise State don't got them guys.
My question is, in 2 years, because that's all, Cignetti's been there 2 years, can you develop that institutional depth in a program like the way that we know you can have the frontline guys? We know you can have
Well, they beat Oregon. Who has got 5 stars all around and 4 stars? They beat Ohio State. And Ohio State ain't got not 1 3-star.
Everybody 5 and 4 stars.
Again, we're talking about playing in successive weeks.
Okay, they played the Big Ten. They didn't play in successive weeks.
Again, there's no Purdue to get it well again. You understand it? In these 3 games,
there's no Northwestern.
There's no Northwestern. You know, you lose a guy gets dinged. So what I'm saying
is, you got Penn State, you got Michigan State, you got Michigan. I think
they almost got clipped against Penn State, didn't they?
They did.
They should have damn near lost.
But I think Indiana is legit. I don't know how far they'll go, and we're getting ready to talk about this next round. But in comparison to those other guys, I don't think a Cinderella team will ever get out of the first round. In my opinion,
I don't think so.
I don't think you
football
have a James is a whole complete in basketball.
Now, what I think you can
is different.
What I think can happen is that you can have a transformational player on a team that can get you one upset. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean,
I think the Boise State from years ago that beat Oklahoma in the Fiesta Bowl. They could have been one of those teams.
Kellen Moore, all them dudes.
They was nice. They was nice.
Yeah, but the problem with that is those teams don't
exist anymore.
Because their roster's going to get raided
as soon as you have one successful season. Like JMU, like Tulane.
Porter would have killed
them. It'd have killed everything.
Would have been gone.
A millionaire. He'd have been a millionaire and been at Ohio State if they had got him. I agree. I don't think a Cinderella team will ever get in there. Let's look at this second round real quick before we get off college football or the playoffs. We're going to start right up here in your backyard, Blaine. The Mo Red Raiders, man, a team similar to Indiana.
Orange Bowl, baby.
Yeah, in the Orange Bowl. They'll be playing on New Year's Day. They got the early game, the 11 o'clock game. Tech playing against Oregon. I like taking this game at face value. First look at the game. This it's going to be on the 1st. Believe that's a Friday.
That's Friday.
I believe it's going to be on a Friday when they play. Yeah, it'll be next Thursday, matter of fact. Next Thursday is when they'll play.
That's too long. And
that's a long wait.
That's a long wait, man. I think you had to play those games back to back.
I thought they were going to be,
but my Red Raiders, man, I give them opportunity. You're gonna be playing in the Orange Bowl. It's gonna be hot and humid. Take a team from the Northwest, and you bring them down there and you put them in that Orange Bowl. It's gonna be a totally different atmosphere. I give us an opportunity to win. I think our defense is great. I think we got enough to beat these guys. So we'll see, man. I'm Red Raiders all the way. It's gonna be a great game because Oregon can score. Oregon can score, and if our best unit beats out their best unit, which is their offense, then I think we have a shot to win.
Yeah, I like Texas Tech in this game, honestly. Oregon's favored by 1.5 points. So Vegas is already saying they don't really know what to think about the game.
It's
either.
a pick 'em.
It's a pick 'em game, a toss-up between these two. I'll take Tech because of what you just said. Defense is what wins games. Defense is what wins championships. At this time of the year, it's going to be a defensive battle, as we just saw with A&M and Miami. It came down to whose defense could play better at the end of the day. Tech's got one of the best defenses in the nation, not just in this matchup. I think they have one of the best defenses in the nation. Jacob Rodriguez should have been in the Heisman finalists, in my opinion. If you put Manti Te'o in there years back at the linebacker spot, I think Jacob Rodriguez could, with the type of season he's had a phenomenal season. This defense has played great. If Morton is healthy, which he has plenty of time to get healthy, obviously it'll be 3 weeks off by the time they play this game for him. He should be healthy.
And that's another point, Jalen. We've had 3 weeks to prepare and to game plan for this one team.
Yeah. They knew Oregon was going to win, so it's one team.
You can start game plan as soon as the season was over when the bracket was set. Because you knew Oregon, and you can get to see these guys. And you can get to see everything that they do. Everything. So you've had this long to game plan, so we should win.
Yeah.
Well, I would say this. I like to look at comparables, right? And I would say this, and you guys may disagree, but a comparable matchup for this Texas Tech matchup that Oregon had was Indiana.
Yeah, for sure.
And when you saw how they performed against Indiana, it was almost like they were handcuffed because that quarterback wasn't able to do what he normally is able to do. Took a lot of those easy throws away from him, made him play in a phone booth. And I just think that's what Tech can do to you defensively. Now, offensively, I think in some ways Tech poses a greater threat than Indiana, in my opinion. Because if Morton is on,
if he's on,
he's on, and he has a complement of weapons that can really that are really can open it up against a team. And so the only thing that kind of concerns me with Tech in this game is if it does become more of an offensive shootout, is Morton going to show up with the hot hand?
And that's why I said
I think he's going to be healthy as he's been all season, though.
Yeah,
for sure.
But if our best unit, which is our defense, can go out and
carry the day,
and can beat their best unit, which is their offense, then we will win the game.
And I think they will. I think Oregon. I mean, I'm not going to say overrated. I don't think Oregon is as good as what some people have them as. They played one good team pretty much all year against Indiana, and they lost. It's the only good team they played the entire year, and they lost in that game. I think this Oregon offense can be up and down. When they're scoring a lot of points, they're scoring a lot of points. When their offense is not clicking, like against Iowa, who's not a good team, and they won that game 18-16. When the offense isn't clicking, it looks ugly. Their defense isn't anything to write home about at all. So I think Texas got the advantage.
Thank you for giving me some hope there, Jay.
Yeah.
And also the one thing that I'll say is, as long as the one game that Tech lost, I don't know how many turnovers they had, but I watched the game, and if I remember, they had several turnovers, and that's the only thing that can unravel that defense.
We lost to Arizona State.
But wasn't that what Will Hammond was playing quarterback then, right? When they lost to Arizona State.
We lost to Arizona State.
Yeah, that was their second game as a backup. Arizona State's a good team. That was the last game they had with Sam Levitt, pretty much. After it was that game. So I think Tech has got the advantage, in my opinion, on this game.
And Tech won that game statistically. They won it.
Arizona State came back on some last minute stuff in that game. Will Hammond wasn't able to move the ball like that. I think that was the second game playing as a starter in that game against Tech. So it'll be a completely.
We was totally inefficient on offense. I can tell you that. I remember that.
The offense, and then Sam Levin made some throws at the end and got him into a position to win that game. So
now, like I say, it's funny. Tech is a funny team that, if you look at their scores, they pretty much dominated everybody they played on the scores. But most of their games are competitive in the first half.
Yeah,
and then they just beat you down into submission that second half. And I think that style bodes quite well for a team like Oregon.
And Rocky Miller, we don't have a lot of. We have a lot of backups. We're not a Power 5, but we got a lot of depth.
No. That's one of the things. That's one of the things that There's
That's
a
what
guy.
money can buy you.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
there's a kid that y'all had as safety that we interviewed at the Big 12. Like, he wasn't getting a lot of playing time early, but he showed up in some big spots the last,
Late in the
2 or
season.
3 weeks
sure.
of the season. Wisniewski, he's showed up in
Yeah.
some big spots. Like, they got guys.
Yeah, they got guys. They got
And
guys.
Joey McGuire did it the right way. He the same formula he had in high school football is the same formula that he took to college, and that's defensive guys. If you go back and you look at his resume in college and see the amount of guys he sent to college.
Yeah, at Cedar Hill, yeah.
At Cedar Hill,
He sent defensive guys.
He sent defensive guys. He had some guys that played offense too now.
Yeah.
Well, when you're too deep on the edges, too deep in the interior, too deep at linebacker, too deep at safety, too deep at corner. Like, come on, man. You
That's a
create
team. That's a full team.
You create, and you create a situation where you can come in that last quarter or those last 2 quarters and your defense not be worn out, even if the team is having success offensively.
Right.
But again, not many teams have had much success against them offensively. Like, they pretty much corralled everybody, and when they weren't corralled, and they were able to get their hands on some footballs as
That's
well.
what I was going
So-
to say. Their turnover margin is the reason.
And if you look at it, they go out the next year. They go out and get the top offensive lineman in the country.
Mm-hmm.
They go and get the top linebacker and defensive lineman in the country.
Yeah, Romello
And the portal ain't even open yet.
And those high school guys. So you just think about it. My formula, I've always said it, the trenches, man. The trenches. If you can win in the trenches, if you have that basis there, if that's your foundation for your home that you're trying to build, you go out and you start right there. That's the foundation. That's gonna keep everything together. That solves a lot of problems. You can bring in a quarterback and you can hand it off and you can still run the ball. You can have a quarterback that can just sit back there and he can just throw the ball because you had that and you had that blocking. Then if you have a defensive line that can rush and that can hold people from running the ball and you make them one-dimensional, you had that basis, you had that foundation.
Now this was interesting, Walker, is that we'll find out how the Big 12 really lines up against the Big 10. Is there a huge disparity in talent?
Because
I don't think there is.
No.
But
not the Big 10. Maybe the SEC, but not the Big 10. No, definitely not. Oregon, Ohio State, Indiana. Outside of that, the Big 10 is the worst conference
and what
in the
Texas
nation.
Tech has is an SEC team. That's for
sure.
sure.
And that's
an SEC talent team.
Yeah, because just like I said, right there,
trenches.
right there, you got to go and get those big boys and
the
those
big guys
boys
really
together.
can play.
Yeah, they can play.
Them dudes can play. So Tech and Oregon will be that first matchup. Playing right after them, Alabama Crimson Tide taking on the Indiana Hoosiers, #1 team in the country after they beat Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. Indiana is favored by 7 points in this game, and I'm actually going to take Indiana in the points in this one. I think they're at least a touchdown better than Alabama. I think Alabama is probably the worst team left in the college football playoff. This is just my opinion. They don't have much on the offensive end. Indiana's defense is no joke. I said it all season. I guess then people started to realize it once they beat the Ohio State. And now Ohio State can't score on them, and now Oregon can't score on them. Their defense is ferocious on all 3 levels. Aiden Fisher, one of the best linebackers in the nation. Like they've got guys at all 3 levels that are going to be drafted in the first 3 rounds of the NFL draft. I like this Indiana defense. I like this Indiana team. I'm taking them over Alabama in this one. Wayne, what do you think about Bama and Indiana?
I mean, coaching is a big part of everything.
Yeah.
And, man, that guy, he can coach.
Yes.
And he can game plan. Every game plan he has to go, he can coach. He can absolutely coach. When they hired this guy, they hit the nail right on the head. And I think he gives them an edge. I think they're playing with a lot of confidence. Being a #1 team in the country and being a team from Indiana is a lot different from being a #1 team in Alabama, where you expect them to be the #1 team. Indiana know what they're fighting for. You know, they know that this is a one-in-a-lifetime ever deal for them. So I think they go see it through. I think just not traditionally being a top-ranked team and being able to do something that no Indiana team has ever done before, I think that's going to carry them over, man. I'm not even going on outfit, but I'm going on coaching, and I'm going on the opportunity for them to be great. And that's what I'm going on, and I'm going to take Indiana.
Well, guys, I'm taking Alabama.
Well, we always
okay.
know you different. We always know you different. We know you know.
No, and again, this is why. My deal is, what is Indiana? Because again, Big Ten is a great conference, but on the perimeter, they don't have the same level of athletes that Alabama has. They don't see them night in, night out. Now, again, you bring up Ohio State, and that's a great point. But when they play this game, it ain't gonna be 15 degrees.
Yeah.
Where they playing it at?
Pasadena in the Rose Bowl.
It's gonna be perfect conditions. It's gonna be perfect conditions. What's the guys? Those wide receivers for Alabama gonna be able to run and jump and catch. It's gonna be like 7-on-7. And can those guys in the secondary hold up against Alabama? I just don't think they can. I just don't think they can.
I think they've done it all year. I think Ohio has the best receivers in the country.
But it won't be 15 degrees.
Yeah, but Alabama played in perfect conditions all year, and they haven't looked great all year. And every week they played in 80 degrees.
They're not playing Georgia though.
But they didn't look good against a lot of teams. That wasn't Georgia. They didn't look that great against Vanderbilt until the fourth quarter of the game.
And the thing about it wasn't 16 degrees when they played them.
No, and they didn't look that great against Missouri. They didn't look
when
that
they
great
played
against
Indiana. It was about 15 degrees out there. It was cold and all that.
It was cold, but it wasn't that cold. It wasn't that cold to make it. Well, yeah, it was. That temperature is a whole lot.
No. What I'm saying.
But it cut your legs off.
What I'm saying is, I think the temperature, the conditions of the game, kind of limits the athleticism. And I think Indiana is a team that's built to play football in the phone box, in a phone booth. I think they're physical. I think they're built like an SEC team. But the problem is, do they have the athletes?
But I think they're gonna be able to score on Alabama. I think they're gonna do the same thing because I think Alabama.
I don't think Alabama's defense is a cupcake.
I think they got some first-rate receivers.
I don't think they cupcake. I don't think they're that good though. Is my opinion. I think this is the worst Alabama team in like 6 years. At least 7 years, maybe. Probably more than that. Whenever Saban was there, this is the worst Alabama team I've seen.
I think they don't have the defensive front that you're used to seeing in Alabama.
Dominant.
I don't have nothing on offense that I'm used to seeing in Alabama either.
I mean, I think their wide receivers are legit.
What's the boy Williams, man? He got to catch the ball.
That's what I'm saying. That's their best receiver. He ain't that good. They got Bernard as their best receiver in my opinion. Bernard is nice, but if they put Pons on him, I think that's a wash. I seen Pons go against Jeremiah Smith, so of course I'm taking Pons over Jeremy Bernard. Jeremy Bernard ain't Jeremiah Smith or Cornell Tate. And I seen Pons go against both of them. I don't think Bernard is better than DeCorian Moore at Oregon. I seen Pons go against him. Like I seen these guys go against real guys.
What that other corner doing? What that slot corner doing though?
It don't matter. You gonna have to get the ball off because they front seven is gonna get to your quarterback in 2 seconds, 2 to 3 seconds. So you got to get the ball off.
Jalen, put up a good point.
Indiana's nice.
Indiana's
nice.
Like I say, I'm taking
Rocky Miller.
No. I'm just saying.
But
in that pressure cooker,
yeah,
there's gonna be conditions over at the Fiesta Bowl or wherever they playing that game at.
Rose Bowl,
in the Rose Bowl, that's gonna be favorable. And I think
you're right.
Again, I think those Big Ten teams benefit, especially when you're physical, benefit from that weather in November and December. You're not gonna have the weather interfering with the game. So you're gonna have it's gonna be basketball on grass. Can you keep up?
Yeah. And I typically would have picked Alabama myself, but I think the moment, the moment and the coaching has gonna have something to do with it this time.
It's gonna be a great game. The conditions will definitely be a factor in this game, or won't be a factor in this game, which will give Alabama an edge in that sense. But I mean, I think this Indiana team is legit.
You just think they're overall a better team
for sure. Okay. Absolutely. Alabama's been very disappointing to me this year. They just played the other most disappointing team that made the playoffs, which was Oklahoma. I think that's why they won. I think if Alabama played Miami, they'd be at home already. But instead, they got to play Oklahoma. It's a couple. We got another SEC matchup. Ole Miss playing against Georgia will be the last game on the New Year's Day slate of bowls. They'll be playing in the Sugar Bowl. Ole Miss and Georgia. I like Georgia in
I
this
like
one.
Georgia.
I think Georgia's just better than Ole Miss at everything.
Yeah, they're gonna put him in the phone booth and
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody consensus on that.
Yeah,
you sure you ain't going against us?
Yeah.
Okay.
I think Georgia's in that one. And then Ohio State versus Miami, I think it's actually going to be a really, really good game. Ohio State thrives on not drop. They're a pretty balanced team, but they drop back and pass quite a lot with Julian saying. And Miami, like I said earlier, their best two players on the team are their edge rushers.
and they playing this at Jerry World, right?
I believe so.
Yeah.
Conditions ain't gonna be a problem.
Not at all.
Yeah, there ain't gonna be no win.
No
Only
win,
thing,
yeah.
are they the early game or the late game? I don't know.
They're the late game.
Oh, so you
6:30.
ain't got to worry about the glare.
Nope.
So-
No glare. No glare. The sun ought to be down
You
by
say
that
we
time.
get credentials? Can we get credentials to go to this
Hey,
game?
man,
Rather
you
than
got
talk
to know
CEO?
somebody. Yeah, we need to talk to somebody that knows to get into that one. Miami versus Ohio State, but I'm picking Ohio State in this game. Though.
Yeah, I am too. I mean, it's.
You know the spread in this one? I don't know.
9.5 leaning to
I mean,
Ohio
because
State.
the thing about it is you come out and you play a physical game but you got a lot of time to heal and get ready to go for the next game. But I mean, game planning and that.
I think Ohio State has a better defense than
Miami.
It has a better defense than A&M.
For sure.
Okay.
Oh, absolutely.
And they have a better offense than Miami. Like Julian was saying,
Yes.
and the complement of wide receivers, running backs. I just think they have better offense. So
point, yeah.
it's gonna be tough. It's gonna be tougher.
It'll be a good game. I'm definitely going rolling Ohio State in that one. They get the night game on December 31st, New Year's Eve. They'll be playing this one. If Miami, as you just alluded to, you can't score on A&M like that. I don't think you're scoring on Arvell Reese and Caleb Downs and all these dudes that's going to be top 10 picks in a couple of months.
And I think if you
Can
get-
Beck raise his play because he's gonna have to elevate his
He's going
play.
to have to, and he hasn't.
And
in
what's
weeks.
the defense coordinator for Ohio State?
Patricia.
Patricia,
yeah,
you give a
Patricia.
guy like that time,
Yeah.
man, to prepare for you, man.
With the Martians they got, it's
man.
going to be a long night.
You give him a guy like that
Yeah.
time to prepare for you?
Yeah.
No, man. It's,
With that defense,
yeah.
the way that defense
It ain't a
has been
week-to-week
playing.
thing. I think he
Nah.
was probably thinking they've been strategizing and coming up with a game plan for weeks. So,
I think they'll be able to close that one out. That's going to be the first round. We got a little bit of time. Won't be playing until New Year's, so a little bit of time before we get to see these games. They'll give everybody a break off for Christmas, and then they'll come back and get ready to play for these New Year's games. Got a couple of quick takes before we switch to some NFL here. First, I want to start with some of the biggest news. DK Metcalf gets suspended for 2 games for the altercation he has with the fan yesterday in their win versus the Detroit Lions. Wayne, I'll start with you, man, as an NFL guy and a guy to play receiver. What did you think about DK's actions in the game, and then what do you think about the 2 games?
Well, first of all, man, you gotta let that go.
Yeah.
I mean, your concentration should be on the field, man. You shoot him the middle finger, and you go on about your business and go on back over there where your team was. If you all up in the stands, man, something's wrong. Yeah. Something's wrong. Now, as a basketball official, I throw people out all the time. I tell you, seriously, because I could hear things and they coming in. But as a football player, I never could hear anybody say anything.
Yeah.
And if I did, I know how to get away from it. I just go stand on the sideline, far away from people, and that's just what it is, man. You can't have like rabbit ears to hear some things like that, man. You let that go. Like I said, you shoot them your middle finger and you go about your business, and that's about it.
You don't blow your money up behind
you
the fan
don't,
saying something to you.
You shoot. You definitely don't put your hands.
No,
on
you don't lose no money behind somebody who paid to come see you.
Yeah,
exactly.
seriously.
And that's
seriously.
and that's the biggest thing right there. He paid to come see me.
Yeah.
And then you have security around you that can go and handle
Yeah,
all of that.
they'll take him right up out of the game.
Yeah. And he go and he say, hey, man, this guy is bugging me. He's bothering me. He's calling me out my name, whatever. You can get that handled.
Say, y'all was saying, I didn't never know what DK first name was.
DeKalen, yeah, that's his first name. Apparently, I don't like getting called that. DeKalen. He don't want to get called DeKalen anymore by anybody, so I guess that's enough for him to go up and pull a dude by his wig. The dude got on a blue wig. You know he's here to mess with you and to throw stuff all. Like, that's what he's here to do. You don't go over there and put your hands on a dude, bro. And then you too big. I'm just glad this wasn't a George Pickens or somebody else. They'd have threw George Pickens out the league if he'd have went and grabbed somebody. They've been waiting on him to go and do something. But this time it was DK and they give him the
I think he'll be able to appeal it and that down to one. I think ultimately he didn't really make significant contact with the guy.
He didn't.
But I think the sheer thought of it is a nightmare for the NFL, and so hopefully, I hope DK gets one game, but I hope he's also learned his lesson.
Yeah,
definitely. And that stuff like that happens, man. I remember in college in Arkansas, we played in Arkansas, and they called my mama every name but a child of God.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I won't go jack the dude up, but I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna go up in there and all them stairs and all. I'm not finna do all that. I'm just gonna take that, man. You know, like I said,
You come with it.
You shoot the finger and you go on about your business.
Yeah.
If you finna take this whooping we finna get
Yeah.
you, that's what you finna take. Now you go cheer about that.
Yeah.
You can call me Ronald all you want to, because that's my first name. But you talking about my mama up there, we can't have all that.
Yeah. It's a little regulation got to happen after that. Yeah, you going home to millions, man. Let this dude say whatever he gonna say,
and then
bro.
you gonna forget about it.
Yeah, you're going to forget about it. Just go check your bank account when you get in the locker room. I promise you, you'll feel better than that guy feels. So it's okay, DK. Hopefully, as Rocky said, you learned your lesson in this scenario. There's been a lot of noise about Trayvon Diggs missing games with these concussions and whatever else randomness he got going on. Now it's reportedly coming out that the concussions came from installing a TV at his house. Now, I don't know what the concussion came from. I done heard that he got in a fight. I done heard just about everything. He tripped down the stairs. I done heard everything about why he's not doing this.
Only he knows. But
Only he knows. Him and God and the security cameras the only ones that know what actually happened and why he got this concussion. I just want to know, what is y'all thoughts about apparently him installing a TV and that was the reason why he
like you said,
got a concussion.
Only he knows.
Yeah.
But what he told the world, I don't know. I know that he's getting paid millions to do this, right?
Yeah.
To set out all these games.
Mm-hmm.
And then I heard he was on the trading blocks at one point. Then I heard he called and told Jerry he was ready to play. There's just so much things coming out, many things coming out about this guy. Hopefully he can get himself healthy. Hopefully that wasn't the truth.
Yeah.
Because why are you hanging on television?
You got millions of dollars, bro.
Why are you hanging on television? That's what I can't understand.
Yeah.
So
I think we got a bigger problem. He's the 67th ranked corner in the NFL.
Thank you.
you don't have Michael Parsons over there rushing.
Yeah,
no more,
exactly.
man. When let me tell you, Michael Parsons made him a rich guy, and he made
Deron Bland.
All
All pros.
guy. All pros, man.
Because of his play.
Because it ain't the sacks that he accumulated; it's the pressure that you put on the quarterback.
Yeah, and I think Green Bay is missing that right now.
Yeah, exactly.
That's the game they had against Chicago this past weekend.
So, I mean, if he want to give us money, he need to be giving some of that money to Michael Parsons, man, for his rehab.
I think Michael's straight.
Yeah. He got
it.
plenty of bread. He got plenty. But yeah, that was Trayvon Diggs. That's just been an interesting story over the last few weeks. Did either one of y'all check out the Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua fight?
I seen highlights.
It was a waste of my 15 minutes, however long the fight was.
It's on Netflix, man.
Could've watched it.
But I didn't realize, man, that many people was happy that old boy got touched
Jake
up.
Paul.
Man, He's a jerk, man.
Yeah, I was happy that he got knocked. I was just happy that he was actually fighting a boxer. So he
that
could
man, y'all got broken in half.
Because he fought a boxer. This is not Nate Robinson. He been fighting Nate Robinson and thinking people that he can fight.
Tyson too,
Yeah, he beat 60 Tyson.
But I look at it a little different. I think Jake Paul a little different, man. He been a stimulus package for some black men, man. He been putting some paper in some black men's pockets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, but
he made Mike Tyson $40 million.
He did.
You know what I mean? So I don't necessarily look at it like he's a jerk. Is he making a mockery of boxing?
Yes.
Absolutely, he's making a mockery. But boxing letting him make a mockery of boxing. You know what I mean?
I think he make a mockery of a lot of things. You know, he want to be the cool white dude with the chains and the tats and all that, but then you a MAGA guy. It's a lot of reasons why I don't like Jake Paul.
He's an innovator. Yeah. Man, he's an entrepreneur in here. Because the guys that made the guy that made over $200 million.
He don't make some bread. He know how to make some money.
Dude hit him with a real punch though.
Yeah, and he only threw one. I watched the whole fight. I could tell they told him, "Hey, bro, don't knock this dude out in the first round."
Now they say AJ may have forfeited some money because he didn't go with the script.
Yeah, I think so too. Because the first 5 rounds before he knocked him out was a script. It'd be times Anthony Joshua got him on the ropes, and he'll just look at him and then half throw a punch and then kind of just start backing away. I said, yeah, they in that earpiece saying, come on, man, it's only round 3. Don't knock him out right now. He threw one punch the entire fight, and that one punch cracked his jaw in 3 places, man.
Oh,
so,
man, he hit him right there. I felt that,
But he's
man.
a street fighter, man.
Yeah.
And that's basically it. He has no skill.
None.
He didn't grow up.
I mean, but Anthony Joshua is a
He's
Olympic
a 2-time heavyweight
He's
champion.
an Olympic gold medalist.
Yeah, he is.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
a difference.
Yeah,
That's a professional.
yeah. That's a real fighter.
And he
That's a
looked
real
like
fighter.
he was about 35, 40 pounds heavier.
Yeah,
than,
he probably was.
than,
You saying heavier than him? Yeah, easy. Jake Paul was fighting at his heaviest he ever tried to fight at, which was 212. Anthony Joshua was fighting at 250. So, I mean, it's completely different. Yeah, y'all have already used the analogy with the bull, man. It's completely different. He been on that mechanical for 3 years, making a lot of money on that mechanical.
Yeah.
But he
got on that real
Yeah,
bull.
Bodacious a little bit different this weekend.
Yeah,
But, hey,
man.
you get your jaw cracked. I seen Jake Paul post a picture this morning in a private jet with $100 bills covering the entire private jet. I think he's fine. I think that cracked jaw, Jake Paul.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. He had a bunch of $100 bills covering the whole private jet.
Man,
Probably about
that's why I
$500K
said
in
the guy's an
cash.
entrepreneur
He know how to make some money.
Hopefully we get a break from Jake Paul.
I'm hoping so too.
Yeah.
because he made over $100 million
Yeah.
fighting Mike Tyson.
Yeah, they made a lot of
Then
money.
he come
A lot of
back
money.
and he make over $75 million fighting
Anthony
Joshua.
Joshua. Yeah, he don't made a lot of money.
That was
Him and his brother. His brother fought Floyd. They don't made a lot of money together.
And this is just money that this ain't accumulating what they done got for Netflix when all the
The streams come
streams
back in.
come
stream
in
number.
and all that type of stuff. So man, more
Shout
power.
out to
I like him. I
Yeah,
like
yeah,
him.
yeah,
I
like
like him for that. I
yeah,
like
yeah,
him
yeah,
for that.
Like I
Yeah,
say,
yeah.
he putting money in black men pocket, man. So I
And he fought Nate Robinson.
he put Nate to sleep.
He put Nate to sleep though, man.
Put Nate to some. Nate had some medical issues
Yeah,
after
he
that.
had some- he couldn't
he had
even
to go
play
get he had to
basketball,
go get a
man.
kidney after that,
Yeah,
man.
they
Shout
say
out
he
Nate
couldn't even dunk
Robinson.
after that, man. He couldn't even dunk after that, man. But he made some money.
Hey,
Yeah,
man.
he made some bread.
He made
did.
$5
He did.
million.
Yeah, he made some bread fighting him as well. So Jake Paul finally gets his first L, I guess, as a professional fighter, if you want to call it that. Anthony Joshua, he shook everybody's hand after. He wasn't tired. I don't even think he was really sweating like that.
Man, that man got a payday
He
for
got
nothing.
he was happy for his
Yeah,
for
man,
him to
that's
go out there and do
payday
that
for
fake
nothing,
fight.
man.
That was his biggest fight, the most money he's made in a fight.
Yeah.
And he's a 2-time heavyweight champion. And that was the most money he's ever made in a fight.
Yeah.
But I mean, to me, that's his biggest win ever, too.
It is. I'm not Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua is actually kind of trash as a heavyweight. If you look in comparison to other guys, he never fought Deontay when they were supposed to fight for years. He never fought Tyson Fury when they were supposed to fight for years.
He wouldn't come over. This is the only time he came over the pond to fight.
Yeah, he wouldn't. That's why he never fought Deontay or Tyson because they
Because
wanted
he
to fight
never wanted to
America.
come over the
He
pond.
made $40 million. He made over
Yeah.
$40 million, $50
Yeah.
million.
Yeah.
I fly across the pond.
A few ponds to come
to
on.
fight Hamilton.
Yeah. That you know it's a guaranteed win. I'm gonna knock him out whenever I feel like doing it. So yeah, hey, shout out Anthony Joshua. He definitely got paid in that. The Chiefs backup Gardner Minshew tears his ACL, making it 2 weeks in a row with the Chiefs having a quarterback with a torn ACL. Obviously, we talked about last week.
They gonna have Casey
Pat
Prentice
Mahomes.
quarterback.
Now I don't know who's gonna be coming out there quarterback now, but you see this Chiefs team kind of deteriorating. What do y'all think about them now getting 2 quarterbacks in a row
Well, it's that
with
time.
torn ACL?
It's that time of season, man, where you just try to get through with the season.
Mm-hmm.
That's why when we was talking, and I was telling you, it's just typical. When a team is not in the playoff run, they start playing the younger players to see what they got in the future or how they can deal with the NFL competition. I think it's time for the Chiefs to do that as well.
Yeah.
Like, you just got to just push back, let these young guys get an opportunity to go out there and play and see what you got coming back.
Chiefs
next year.
eliminated.
Yeah,
they're
they're
so when you
eliminated, yeah.
eliminate, that's what you do. That's
Yeah,
what you do.
yeah.
You start playing. That's why yours is playing because of that. If it's nowhere in the world if they still had a chance for the playoffs that Tua wouldn't have been quarterback.
Yeah.
So you try to see what you have for the future. You let these young guys go out and play. Kelsey, just put them on the shelf for the year. You don't want to get you guys hurt. Jones, unless a guy got some incentives. And then if a guy has some incentives,
Just pay
they're
him.
going to send him down anyway.
Yeah, so you
They
don't
gonna
get
send
that
him
extra
down,
$4
so
million,
you don't
$2
get it.
million.
Yeah, so
$1
we
million.
don't have to pay that out. So basically, it's all about the team at this point. If a guy can go out and get $5 million and he has a incentive in his contract for 13 sacks and he's at 12, he ain't playing another down. He ain't playing another down.
That's how it goes,
That's
unfortunately.
how it goes. That's how it goes. You're
Yeah.
not in playoff
Yeah.
competition.
Yeah.
So that's how it goes, man. And you just got to get some guys that let the other young guys play now.
Yeah, I think that's what mode the Chiefs are on right now. It's moving into they're trying to rebuild the dynasty, so this is where it starts right here. See who you're going to stick with for the next couple of years. As Mahomes battling through injuries and all this thing. Find the young guys that you can get on there because you're going to have to move off of – eventually you're going to have to move off of the Chris Joneses, the Trent McDuffies, the big-name guys that are getting older, the Kelseys. You got to start finding – this is the time you start searching for those replacements right now with these young guys with the draft coming up.
But one thing, they got to have a quarterback to start next year.
Yeah,
and
they
they
do.
don't have one right
Yeah,
now.
that is true.
They don't have one right now. So what are they going to do in that regard?
Yeah, they got some
I think
questions.
Phillip
to be
Rivers
answered.
is a
Oh
probably
my
maybe
God, that's a. Let's just segue right into that since we about to talk
If they
about.
got hurt and they couldn't block from there, then Phillip Rivers
Yeah.
Phillip Rivers ain't crazy. I know.
Nah, yeah, he wants to be able to walk after
Yeah.
he gets out of here. But Phillip Rivers playing in a couple of minutes. San Francisco 49ers and the Colts getting ready to come on 7:15 in just a few minutes. The San Francisco 49ers favored in this game by 4.5. San Fran has battled probably the most injury almost out of any team in the league and still find a way to be a double-digit win team as they got 10 wins on the season. The Colts fighting for their playoff life right now. I think they gave up picks to go get Sauce Gardner. He ends up getting hurt. Daniel Jones gets hurt. They don't have the first-round pick for next year. They were in first place in the AFC almost, and then all these injuries started piling up. Now they're fighting just to get a chance to get into the playoffs. Rock, I'll start with you. Who do you like in this game of San Francisco and Indy playing tonight? Phillip Rivers will be on the field.
Yeah,
out there
man.
playing.
A 45-year-old quarterback, you ain't gonna be able to do nothing.
He going for Jonathan Taylor, though. I can tell you that.
Yeah.
He's rooting for Jonathan.
Yeah. I hope he hand that thing off to him a whole bunch. You know,
Fantasy-wise.
Yeah. Nah, but I just think you got to take Frisco in this one.
For sure.
I think for all intents and purposes, Indiana's eliminated once they sign a 40-year-old quarterback and then a 45-year-old quarterback and decide to play in. Then you. I'm not saying you're giving up on the season, but it's. I don't think they're gonna be. I think they lose tonight and they ultimately get eliminated.
I seen Phillip Rivers put his entire back into a throw last week that went 20 yards. There's no you do give up on the season when you sign Phillip Rivers. There's no chance of you win, in my opinion. No chance of you winning this game unless your defense just plays phenomenal. Similar to the 2016 Broncos or something when they had Peyton Manning on his last leg. Your defense just has to play phenomenal to even be in the game. For that reason, I'll take San Francisco in this one.
Yeah, I'm taking San Fran. We don't even have to talk about
it. I don't think there's any reason. A couple of good games this weekend. They had a lot of playoff implications. Chicago Bears, probably one of the most surprising teams of this year. They win a game in a thriller that ends up going to overtime. They were down by 10 with 3 minutes left to go in the game. They end up coming back, winning the game in overtime. Caleb Williams made some big throws down the stretch, having another really good ending to the game like he's done the last few weeks. Jordan Love gets hurt in this game, could potentially be out for next week as well. They already had the Michael Parsons injury. Christian Watson's already hurt, who was one of their main guys as well. It's just getting rough for this Green Bay team right now, who's fighting for their playoff lives after losing this last game. But what do we think? What do you think about Chicago? That's what I wanted to ask you guys. They've been pulling off a lot of these close wins. They're 11-4, sitting at the top of the NFC North and right at the top of the NFC, right behind Seattle and the Los Angeles Rams as well. Do you think the Chicago team has enough to make some noise in the playoffs for this upcoming playoffs?
Yeah, I think so, man. Winning is contagious. You know, when you find a way to win and you find a way to win those close games, man, it just happens for you. And I think the biggest effect on Chicago is Ben Johnson.
Yes.
I think Detroit misses him so much, man, that it don't make no sense. But he's put his stamp on his team. He's been a good first-year coach. And like I say, when it's contagious, you know, they've been able to draft well for the last few years. They brought in some free agents that could do some things. So they've always had the personnel to win. They just needed a leader. And I think finally they got that leader.
Yeah. Rob, what you think about them Chicago beating Green Bay last week?
No, like I say, I think they had some fortunate things happen when my man goes out the game, Jordan Love, that definitely puts the game in play. even though they had a great effort by Malik Willis. But ultimately the Bears and Caleb Williams were able to fight back. They had some things go their way. But ultimately I think, they're playing well. I wish Caleb Williams was a little more efficient. I wish, but with that kind of athletic ability, with that kind of just sheer horsepower that he plays with, he can afford to be a little inefficient and lean into big plays and be able. And he's been able to come through in big moments.
He's got as much arm talent as just about anybody in the league. Like you said, that efficiency is what's got to get better with him. But he can make every throw. The corner balls, the long ball, wherever you need him to do, he can make every throw.
I also think a function of him making it look hard, I think, is the lack of protection he has on the edge. These guys in the middle do pretty good holding up, but on the edge,
those are vets.
See those
He's got
guys,
2 young guys on the edge.
They leak a lot, and that requires him to get out and run and play some hero ball at times, and so. But I think he'll be fine. I'm looking forward to see what the Bears can do in the playoffs. It's going to be their first time in a long time
playing in the playoffs. Definitely first time in a long time for the Chicago Bears.
They may even win the division.
I think they're gonna win the division.
With Detroit losing and them beating Green Bay,
I think they pretty much solidified their spot as winning that division.
They already qualified for the clinch playoffs.
Yeah, I know they're in the playoffs.
They're 2 games above Green Bay right now. With Green Bay,
they got to win one game. In there.
And I think Josh Jacobs is hurt for Green Bay too.
Everybody, everybody's hurt. He was on my fantasy team as well. They're definitely kind of spiraling downwards along with Detroit. So Chicago's going to end up running away with that division. Rock, I'm gonna come back to you in the game. I know you was tuned into Bills playing against the Browns. What do you think about Shador's performance against the Bills? Had them in the game all the way to the very end. 23-20
I thought it was a very average performance. I thought he played within himself. He played within the framework of the offense. It looked like for some reason he was reluctant to push it down the field like he had been in previous weeks. But all in all, they had a chance to win. To be honest with you, his team, his supporting cast isn't good enough for them to win against the Bills team. They don't block well enough. They don't catch well enough. Outside of Fanning and Junkins, he, in my opinion, he doesn't have much to speak of. And when now that Junkins, is out with a broke leg, it's
that's pretty much it.
Yeah. But I give the Browns and Coach Stefanski and of course the defense kudos and staying in the game the whole time and having a chance to win late. They just don't have enough on offense to muster up. Much effort.
Yeah, much of anything. But they stay competitive in the game against Bills, so you'll give them something for that. But, I mean, James Cook goes 16 carries, 117 yards, 2 touchdowns. It's not many people going to win when the Bills are playing like that. Josh Allen didn't have to do much, actually battling a foot injury, and I think they got Philadelphia coming up this next week, so that should be a big one. Wayne, I'm going to come to you for this one, man. Your old Chargers had a game this weekend against America's team, as Rocky would like to say it. They beat the Dallas Cowboys, who were already eliminated, I think, before the game started from playoff contention. So, that was kind of in the back of their minds as well. But what do you think about the Chargers going forward, man? They're sitting at 11-4, kind of been overshadowed by how good Denver's played this year. But another double-digit win season for Coach Harbaugh in the second year with these Chargers. They're starting around in the form as they get further throughout the season. Amari and Hampton look like he's starting to come on for the Chargers. What do you think about the Chargers?
Well, they playing the type of defense the type of football that you need to play in December and in January, And Cowboys is a tough opponent, man, because they're so efficient on offense. They got 2 number ones on the outside. Javonte Williams been running the ball, and Dak's been dead on. So the Chargers, to win a game like that and to win it at home is a good sign. Then we starting to get some players back from injury. Hampton came back, had a wonderful game. Been kind of relying on Herbert's legs a little bit more because he had some big scrambles over this year where he was reluctant to run in the past. And so using his legs has been a big thing. We got a chance. I just think that with the Chargers, we don't, on the outside, I don't think we have anybody that scares you on the outside as far as a receiver. We got the quarterback with the big, powerful arm, but do we got anybody that can go get it? You got your leading receiver is Lad McConkey. You know?
I thought Johnson was leading this year.
It's right between them two, probably.
But Johnson is he has been
he's had some
scary.
bigger games.
Yeah,
McConkey's still the leading receiver, but
McConkey is the leading receiver.
by about 150
Johnson
yards.
is just one of those guys that
Big play guy.
he's a big play guy, but he's one of those 50-50 guys.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You know, if I'm throwing this to Jamar Chase down the field every time, I feel comfortable in knowing that he gonna go get it. Johnson sometimes he line and hit his hands and bounce off his defensive back interceptor. I mean, he one of them 50-50 guys.
Yeah.
But he's had a better year than he's had the previous 2 years. I can
Absolutely.
say
How
that.
many yards has he put up this year?
730.
Oh, yeah.
Oh no, 600. I think Ladd is at 750, and he's at 650.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah. So, but we need that guy. We need that guy. We need that guy. We need a dependable guy, and we need a big body guy.
Yeah.
Cause
They drafted Trey Harris. I don't know if he can turn into that guy, but he's a big body.
yeah.
receiver
And
out of Ole
that's
Miss.
why they drafted him.
Yeah.
But we need a big body guy that's gonna be. Because now you got Ladd in this slot position, and he can win on routes, but he's just too small.
Yeah. Keenan is older. He's in the slot, but he's older.
Yeah. And his confidence is shaking because they let him go in Chicago, and so we need a guy. We need a dependable receiver. But I think everything else we got. And then on the defense we got 3 levels.
Yes.
So we got a pass rusher, you got a linebacker, and you got a good safety. So we have a chance. That's what I say.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are a sneakily good team. A lot of people really not putting them in a lot of those conversations. You look at them, it's like, man, these guys got 11 wins, and they got good wins against good teams as well. They just been kind of overshadowed by how great Denver has been playing as well. A couple more games before we get out of here. Jacksonville ends the Broncos' 12-game winning streak. Is Jacksonville better than a lot of people are giving them credit for? Obviously, I'm not a Jacksonville fan. They play against my team twice a year, but they're a lot better than what I gave them credit for it to be. But Rock, we've kind of had some discussions about Trevor Lawrence in the past. What do you think about the way he's played the last few weeks and then the way Jacksonville is playing?
I like I said, I credit Trevor Lawrence for being efficient, being less erratic. You know he's a guy that can make all the throws.
For sure.
His decision making and then his ball security has always been an issue. Again, he's been playing in some great weather the last couple of weeks. I think Trevor Lawrence is one of those guys. His career is defined as when it gets cold, when it gets raining. How is he going to play? Is he going to be able to protect the ball? Is he going to be able to make plays? That's kind of what I think Trevor Lawrence is. As a quarterback, their defense is stout, and so they're going to be in every game. Yeah. And Trevor Lawrence just in most games, as long as he doesn't lose it, they're going to have a chance to win.
It all depends on him. It all depends on.
Well, they got a dominating running game though. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Their running
they
game.
Run the ball,
So that's what. And that's what.
Had a great comeback year.
They head coach is a guy that came from Tampa Bay last year. That worked with Baker Mayfield and made him legitimate.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take this guy and you put him with Trevor. Trevor didn't get it at the beginning of the year, but now he's starting to get it. Okay, now he's starting to do all the right things in a quarterback. He's starting to hand it off. Then you're starting to take your check down. Don't try to make the big play every time. That's the same thing with Shador. You was talking about Shador a while ago. Shador, he has flashes. And the only one thing that he does that's not an interference, and that's he holds on to the ball too long trying to make, instead of just going ahead and taking your check downs and this, that. But he's a rookie.
Yeah.
So he's going to be good, and he's flashes. You can see the talent there. And then you got the guys that's listening to him, so you can see that he's a natural-born leader because the guys on the offense are listening to him, and they want to play for him, and they want to block for him. He just don't have the talent around him right now, but I can see him being a good quarterback once he figures it all out, and he's starting to. He just don't have the personnel to do it with. Because you can't push it down the field with Jerry Judy. He's a 50-50 guy too.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have the personnel to do what you need to do, but he's gonna be. But Trevor Lawrence is starting to figure that out.
Yeah.
He's been in the league a lot longer, but now he's got an offensive coordinator now that
assist him in managing the game.
And managing, because you got to be a game manager. You got the big arm, but you don't have to use it every play. Take what the defense gives you. Sometimes it's okay to punt the ball. You don't have to go and score every. You got some guys. Trevor Lawrence was one of those guys that wanted to go out and score every possession. It's not going to happen. So then when you're trying to score every possession, you throw an interception. It's okay to punt the ball sometimes.
Yeah.
So now he's figured that out, and he's been playing great the last 3 weeks, and they're gonna live and die by his arm or what he does.
Yeah, I was surprised that they won this game. This is a game I had penciled in for them to lose just because of the way the teams they played in the last few weeks. I know they put together a winning streak, but they beat Arizona, they beat the Raiders, they beat the Jets. They beat teams like that. So I'm like, well, maybe it's not really a real winning streak. But you go into Mile High and beat a team on a 12-game winning streak, and you go 3 touchdowns, no interceptions. You got to say, okay, the guy is starting to figure it out. As you guys both alluded to, Liam Cohen is kind of directly responsible for Baker Mayfield leading the league in passing for 2 years in a row. He leads, and now Baker Mayfield's not top 20 in passing yards right now. So Liam Cohen is starting to look like that guy. He didn't know how to say Duval, right? But he's figured out how to do this with the team and get these guys rolling and going, man. So I think Jacksonville is going to be a tough out when they get into these playoffs. Last one, New England Patriots get a win over Baltimore Ravens. Are the Ravens done? Lamar Jackson has just not looked like the Lamar Jackson would look like we're used to seeing post-injury. Before the injury, he was having some up and down moments, but he was still looking like himself. He wasn't turning the ball over. Just hasn't looked like himself. I'm still shocked by play calling. I know Lamar gets hurt in yesterday's game, but Derrick Henry goes 18 carries for 128 yards, 2 touchdowns in 3 quarters. And in the fourth quarter, doesn't get a carry, doesn't get a snap, doesn't get a touch of the football in the fourth quarter in a close game with your backup quarterback in. That was extremely surprising and shocking to me. Not sure what's going on. And I'm actually looking for Harbaugh to be fired at the end of this year, man. I think too many of these decisions have come up and have been made over and over and over the last 4 or 5 years. And I know he gets the grace of he was a Super Bowl champ and all that, but eventually that starts to wear off. I don't know if he's losing the locker room, but he's close to being on the edge of that. Do you think the Baltimore Ravens season is done after that loss to New England yesterday? I'll start with you, Wayne.
Well, this is my thing with Baltimore. It's one of those teams that I predicted in preseason to compete for a Super Bowl.
Me too.
And for them not to make a playoff, that's a big disappointment, especially with the amount of talent that they have around them. Man, offensive-wise, they got it all. They got the quarterback. They got the running back. They got 2 or 3 good receivers. They got the best. If you talk about tight end combinations, you got Likely and you got Andrews. You got the best combination in the league of tight ends. And you have efficient blocking. You have a pretty decent line. And for you not to make the playoffs, and I know Lamar was injured and this, that, and other, but you got a bell cow back there that you could depend on, man. You have everything that you need. And then on defense, you got a guy like Cal Hamilton. You got everything that you need. So sometimes it does come to coaching. You made a good point that John Harbaugh might be fired. It's all about what you only as good as your last game. That's what I've always been told. And his last game, he lost.
In the last few seasons, it's been a lot of questionable calls when you get to playoffs.
And like you said, for a guy like Derrick Henry to have 2 touchdowns and 123 yards,
in 3 quarters.
In 3 quarters, and you don't touch the ball in the fourth quarter, you have to shake your head on that, man.
Yeah.
You have to shake your head, and that's coaching. That's coaching. I don't care if you can blame it on the offense coordinator, but at the end of the day, you're responsible for the team, so you can make that call up and say, hey, give him the ball.
Yeah.
And he's going to have to do what you tell him to do because you are his supervisor. You're his head coach. And so, I don't know, man. That's just disappointing. Yeah. That's all I can say is Baltimore is just disappointing.
You know, it's ironic that if Baltimore wins against the
Pittsburgh.
Packers on Saturday, they'll be in a situation where they'll be rooting for a rookie quarterback to possibly beat the Steelers.
Who was that? Shadou?
Yeah. I don't think that's gonna happen.
No,
And
I
so
don't
I
think
think
it is either.
for all intents and purposes, the Ravens are eliminated. And so with Lamar being banged up most of the season, I think they'll just let him sit out the rest of the season, to be perfectly honest with you, and get ready for next year.
Yeah.
But who's gonna be at the helm next year? You think do you think they give Harbaugh another chance, or?
I mean, it's really hard. It's really hard to say. I believe Harbaugh has significant amount of cachet and deserves an opportunity to right this situation, if at all possible. That's my personal
He
belief.
wronged it.
Well, I think you got to understand, this season was unraveled when Lamar went down in game 3 or 4.
Yeah, week 4 he got hurt.
And he missed 4 weeks. I mean, and they couldn't pull out any victory.
But even when he was quarterbacking, they lost.
But they lost some games they probably wouldn't have lost.
They lost some games they shouldn't have lost when he was quarterbacking, and they lost.
Absolutely.
Playoff game. I'm thinking about the totality of the last 4 or 5 years. They've lost a lot of games, in my opinion, because of some bad coaching. I think last year in the playoffs was bad. I think the last 2 years in the playoffs was terrible coaching. Derrick Henry getting 12 touches both times in the play, like stuff like that.
But one thing I can say, Baltimore has the most dependable and the most organized front office.
Yes.
In the whole league.
Yes, I agree.
So I mean, they're used to the same thing, the same routine. So I don't know if he'll be fired, because you got guys, they stable. They got the most stable organization in the
They're like the Steelers. They're not guys that want to move off of guys.
They're not America's team, and where you have, and I'm taking a shot at Rock and the Cowboys. But I'm telling the truth though.
No, they've had some long run in the playoffs. They've just not been able to get over that hump. I think with Lamar being out, Joe Burrow being out the playoffs, and also Patrick Mahomes not being in the playoffs, I think this playoff run will be on the shoulders of Josh Allen. And if Josh doesn't get it done this time,
then can we please stop talking about this guy like he is John Elway or whoever? I think Josh Allen's boozing. I'm just gonna keep it. But I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's one of the best. But man, I mean, like how much? It's like he can do no wrong. He can go out there and throw. He almost beat Mahomes. Let's give him credit for how many times he almost beats Mahomes.
You got to realize this guy's carried the franchise offensively for 5-6 years now. And though he's played sensational in some really big spots and come up short. So I understand why people give him his praise. Now, again, I'll also say this. He's also been erratic at times during these 5 years where games that you thought were laydowns for the Bills, they ended up having to go on the road and travel places where they probably shouldn't have if he had been able to beat the Jaguars, if he'd been able to close out a game against the Cleveland or go down to Miami and beat the Dolphins. You know what I mean? He's had those kind of moments. So we'll see this year. It'll be set up for him. It'll be him against the young guns now. It'll be Herbert.
Bo Nix.
Drake May. Yeah, it'll be him against the young guns.
Lawrence, C.J. Stroud. Those are going to be the quarterback. If he don't get it done this year, I need him to stop talking about it because they killed Lamar for losing.
C.J. Stroud going to the playoffs?
Yeah, they 10-5.
Yeah, I think and they the number one team wild card right now. If the season ended today, they would be.
We're not gonna win the division. Probably Jacksonville will win. We don't play them anymore. We split with them on the series. They got a game up on us. That's why I was hoping they lost against Denver, but they didn't. But I think we'll be right there in the wild card.
There's a bunch of horrible teams in the AFC. I mean, horrible teams. I mean, even if you take Baltimore, you take the Jets,
Cincinnati Jets,
Miami,
so you
Dolphins,
saying
Tennessee.
So you saying y'all may get that matchup with the Steelers, huh?
Oh, and we're going to smash the Steelers. I hope we do get to match up with the Steelers. We get to play a 40-year-old that moves like me in the pocket. I hope we get a chance to go out there and beat him and play against them. But Josh Allen better get it done this year. They kill Lamar every year in the playoffs. Josh Allen's always had a better offense than Lamar has, but they never seem to bring that into consideration. They just, it's Lamar's fault. So let's see him go out there and play against them. The Chargers.
Y'all play the Chargers in the first round.
It'll be tough. We play the Chargers this week coming up. So,
well, now Chargers is the other wild card.
Yeah, they're wild
right there. They're right wild card. This will be for the top wild card spot when they play this weekend. Whoever wins this will get the top.
And they'll get in the lowest seeded division winner is gonna be the
Pittsburgh Steelers. Yeah. So you're gonna play against the winner of this game gets Pittsburgh in the playoffs. So that'll be what this game is for.
So you saying the Chargers gonna beat the Texans?
No, I'm not saying that. I don't.
Well, that's kind of how, I mean.
He's saying that's how he laid it out.
Yeah. Well, because if the Chargers win, they'll be the higher seed.
Man, I don't think very much of the Chargers. I've seen them.
Well, they'll be America's team.
But I also seen them in situations where they had to play. You know, two teams I think is sitting ducks in the playoffs. Mm-hmm. I think the Chargers and I think Denver, they sitting ducks. I don't think they can beat any.
I don't think Denver gonna win it. I think probably the best team in the AFC to me is New England because they played three phases of the game. I know they lost a game to Buffalo that they shouldn't have lost. Yeah. But I still think they're the better team.
I think they're the best team in the AFC. I've just been scared to go with that because they got a second-year quarterback, first-year head coach. They're young everywhere, but they young guys
but they
nice.
protect him. They protect him. Yeah. And then they got an offense coordinator in Josh McDaniels that's been around and that knows how to win and then won 7 Super Bowls. Yeah. So that experience alone and knowing how to deal with a young guy and not put him in those tough and terrible situations has been working for him.
I trust Drake May more than I trust Bo Nix. That's the reason I don't put him over there. I trust him more than I trust Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix is a product of the team that he's on and the environment he's in.
So everything is going to go through Denver, though, right?
Yeah. Denver's going to be the 1 seed.
And they got to win their next 2 to do it. And then if not, it'll go through New England. Yeah. You're right.
Denver could get knocked off at any point.
Yeah, I think so too. I think almost any other playoff teams that make it.
But both of those are cold weather cities. Mm-hmm. And they both have outdoor stadiums.
Yep. Yeah, that's true.
So whoever has good running games.
That's what Bo's good for Buffalo. They got the bad weather and they got the best running back out of all the teams.
I don't think, and y'all may disagree with me, but I don't think there's a bad matchup for Houston. There will be a bad matchup for Houston.
No, Houston defense.
Yeah, defense because of defensive wise.
Yeah. That's the only reason I give Houston a shot because it travels. But you only have one receiver.
Yes. Offensive line is still bad.
Offensive line is bad, and you can't. Nick Chubb has come in and did a tremendous job.
He needs to retire.
Yeah,
but the young running back's decent.
But you need somebody. They miss Joe Mixon that can come out the backfield and catch the ball, and then
not having Joe Mixon derailed this season, in my opinion. Not derailed it because they're still gonna have a chance, but it hurt the season because we had him. A guy that was good for 80+.
What's the little receiver that can play?
Tank Dell. He's gone.
That right there, man.
Yeah. Did he retire?
Who Tank Dell? He got hurt.
Dang near.
No. He got hurt last year.
Yeah. Well, he tore his ACL and MCL, and he got shot in 6 months.
Oh yeah.
In a 6-month span.
Yeah,
so I think
he got shot.
He got shot with a gun and bullets. Yeah. So I think he needs a year off. And they just gave him this year off to go ahead and chill.
5'7", man.
Yeah. 160 pounds, 5'7".
He came across bad. I wanted to see C.J. Stroud cry when he got shot.
Yeah, he probably did. That's what. See, I told you, I be hesitant about these light-skinned quarterbacks, man. And CJ, I love CJ. We got him, but he's from California. And then when Tank got hurt, he was like, it's one thing to shed a tear, like, man, that's my dog. But you boo-hooing like you at your grandma's funeral. It's like, bro, we got to win a game. And what did we do? Went out there and lost because you still wiping tears out your eyes. But the Texans, man, I think they'll be straight. We out of time here today on Centex Primetime. I want to thank everybody for tuning in with us. College football playoffs coming up in a little bit. Christmas coming up. Merry Christmas to everybody out there. Happy holidays.
Christmas.
Go get your last minute Christmas shopping in because there ain't going to be nothing left in the stores by tomorrow. If y'all are making Christmas plates, y'all can send them right here to the address. DM, I'll send you the address to the studio, and we'll make that happen. Y'all can send a plate right up here. Me and the fellas will go ahead and check it out. Appreciate everybody for watching. Hit that subscribe button. We will see you guys next time on Centex Primetime. Everybody have a great evening.